Something about you, boy, your kiss and your touch and
Make it stop. I don't understand my technology sometimes. I know, isn't that cute? Do you know Kathy? You know Kathy Pepper. You know her husband James. He made that for me. Like we were chatting one day and he was messing around with AI. So I thought it was cute. Anyways, I was saying, I'm like, I'm just gonna hit record really quick. As we were talking about how we're gonna be pseudo famous. This is the B-roll for later. Oh good. And this is where my dogs freak out. I'm like, I'll just edit it all out of here later. Yeah. Babe, do you mind shutting the curtains? Thank you. I'm sorry. This is why we can't have nice things. Yeah, look at her. Her little sad tail. She's like, no.
Good dog. Good dog. She's doing good job. Anyway.
I know. She's doing a good job, but we can't do it right at this moment. We're like pretending to work. Anyways, I was like, in theory, this is like, if like, yes, you're right. It'll go on the internet. But I'm like, you know, if people are actually going to go back and find it on the internet, that's just going to help whatever we're doing here. Right? It's just visibility. We'll see. We'll see. Okay. Otherwise, look at Fatso says hello. This is my French man. Remember, I don't think he speaks English because Ryan's parents. This was his granddad's dog. This was Fernand's dog. This is Milou.
Milou.
We match. Just Milou.
Milou from Tintin.
Yeah. So let me know.
Yeah.
Where is that? Oh,
he's a Belgium, actually.
Oh, is he? Well, anyways, Ryan's grandfather was French, and I think named him after this one, right?
Hergé is Belgium. He's from Belgium.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Hey, Milou, this Rin Tin Tin is actually a Belgian story. This is a story Vincent is saying it's Belgium instead of French, even though the book is in French.
Oh,
I didn't know. I just thought it was a French original story kind of thing.
It's like the French fries. They're from Belgium.
Interesting. I think I knew the French fry one, but I didn't know it. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, I forgot it was a Belgian thing.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay. All right. Anyways, you learn something new every day. Okay. Now we'll pretend to be professionals.
Yeah.
So I'll do my little fun intro here, because that was all the B-roll for when we make our famous Patreoners. the what do you call it? The bloopers, something like that. Also, side note, let's see if my coffee came out good. Ryan left our like drip coffee at a place we don't want to go back to because we're forward thinking. So I had to make what they call the cowboy coffee. So I just put the coffee filter and then the coffee and like the hot water. But then my filter like busted midway through, like it broke. So I'll see if this came out good or not. Could be really crazy or really awful. Goodness. What time is it over there? I'm sorry for bugging you.
It's 9 p.m., 9:20 p.m.
Okay. See, I'm usually like at least washing my face by 9 p.m. my time. Even though your face looks great. I know you said you were tired.
I didn't put my makeup, sorry.
No, I was saying I did that. Right. Okay. And go. We did. I hit the enhance button. So I'm cheating and I'll hit it on your side when we do the thing. But right. Thank you for coming, Vince. This is where I'll do my introduction where I'm like, hey, I bother people and I call it a job kind of. And mostly it's just fun for me too. But at some point along the way, I decided to tell everybody that we'll just make it a wannabe web stream or a podcast. And I decided to call it Tuesdays with Tori, where we attempt to dive into stories, strategies, maybe some insights in whatever. I struggle with what we call our industry, right? Because it's, yes, the adult industry, but it's pleasure products, but also there's a whole business to business side around it that sometimes it gets hard to translate. So I'm sticking with sexual health and wellness industry. It seems to get better clicks, but sometimes I switch back and forth in between like adult retail, right? But in case you didn't know, I know I've given you the spiel before, Vincent, but you know, for any viewers at home, because this is how we get famous later, right? I'm Tori, and officially I'm the sales director at Paradise Marketing, which is like a master distributor for all the condoms. But then I call myself the condom charmer because this has become a whole show that started where I really just wanted to be educational and talking about like tips, but then also it was like sales tips needed to be involved, and then it turned into business tips and then marketing tips, and then now I'm just like, I think it would be really fun to use the platform to have informed kind of like discussions where people just grab like a little nugget along the way, because I did 8 years with a lubricant manufacturer, and like I was like, oh, cool, I can switch from lube to condoms and kind of put on like my public health hat. And just the amount of information that I thought I didn't know about lubes in 8 years, I thought I was pretty chill. I was like, I at least know there's different types, and about like condom compatibility and lubricants. Yeah, no. So what started as like a grumpy soapbox like platform for me to be like, did you guys all know these things, has kind of turned into a, well, I'm going to tell you some things because you don't know what you don't know. Maybe I'll drag wonderful, smart, brilliant directors like Vincent with me along the way, and maybe we'll inspire some people. So here we are. We'll bring all the awkward product knowledge, any business strategies and stories, right? Story Tori. Without any shame, I'm not here to judge anybody, but sometimes I just, get a little soapboxy where I just want people to have all the information, know that they can choose what they're going to choose, because oftentimes we have a bias in our head, and I just want people to be able to shut that brain, like that voice off sometimes. And sometimes information helps with that, at least for me. And now we'll make it a talk show. And I try to go live usually around 5 p.m., which I guess is like I'm in Mountain Time now. But because Vincent is fabulous, and I'm going to let him do his introduction here in a little bit, but he's international. So we're recording right now, and then I'll put it on live in a few hours, and I'll manage the comments and stuff that way.
Live. Come on, it's a fake live. I don't deserve that. Come on.
Oh, goodness. It's still going to go live, and then that way we can send the comments to you live, if that makes sense.
Checking it. Okay.
Okay. I don't know. I was trying to do the research.
You're the boss. Anyway.
And correct me if I'm wrong, people, from the last research I did in hacking the algorithm for free, right? Like this is just me, myself, and I, and me calling in favors with my friends for funsies.
Yeah. I've got a drink. Okay,
cheers to you, my friend. It is not time for me to drink the wine over here because I still have work to do, but I'm thinking of you. I'll be thinking of you in a few hours, and I'll make another toast. That'll be great.
Late, actually.
What are we talking about? I don't know. Let's try to inspire, maybe, but also this is a way I get to catch up and call it work, right? So what's going on, Vince? Today's a perfect example about what we're here. I drag Vincent, the director at the Honey Playbox, which we're going to talk about in a minute. But mostly I was like bugging him, and I was like, challenge accepted. I am bringing you on. Let's do it like tomorrow. And Vincent kind of threw me a challenge. Well, let's talk about like friendship, but also kind of the difference between friendship and networking, and how it applies to this like very specific industry. So, hey, I'm going to like give you a minute. Vincent.
So boring. Your topics are so boring. To develop the business. Oh, please.
I know. Please. See, I'm like, this is why I need you. I get into professional mode. This is why I need you, Vincent. Okay, tell everybody, pretend like everybody here is brand new, because believe it or not, that P3 page gets like 100 new people a month now. It's kind of insane. So, if you didn't know, now you know. What about Vincent? Go, take the floor.
So Vincent Renou, he's a rookie guy too. Just being
but nominated for what? Team leader of the year this year. Hold up, Mr. Newbie. What?
I used to be a buyer and sales director for distributor in Europe for Let's Out. So this is my first step in 2018 on the American market, and then I just did my networking. Networking is the most important things that we have to do, and Tori, you know about that in this industry. And then step by step, I grew up, and Honey Playbox asked me. So this fantastic brand, Honey Playbox, with Jorel, they asked me to join them and to be the global sales director. So to manage everything, like shipment, sales, buying style, new product style. So and I just say, wow. I love it. New challenge. I'm taking it. And yes, so I'm spending half of my time in US China and Europe, of course. I'm working here from home. Welcome in my
I
house.
love you. I was gonna say I'm obsessed with that lamp. Is it black and white? It's so cool.
Yes, and the plant. Yeah.
I know. I love the plants too. You can't see my plants right now because most of them died and they're hydroponics. But we'll talk about that later.
Come on.
It's like, yeah, I was like, they're working on it. We'll come back to that. I was on vacation for a little bit, so things kind of died. It was what it was.
To be in vacation, you need to work first.
Well, yeah, fair.
Oh, come on, it's a French joke.
I do, I watched what was it, Emily in Paris, and they were saying the same thing. So I'm like, I think I do need to move to France because then maybe I'll stop working so hard.
Emily in Paris, it's everything but not Paris,
Yeah.
Like you don't see the crack guy at 2 a.m. in the morning, at 2 a.m. Like, come on.
there's pain in the beauty of it, okay? And we're just going to show you the beauty, maybe not the pain here. That's marketing.
That's terrible because Emily goes to Roma.
I know, I did see that, and that end at this end season. So now she's it's Emily in Rome, maybe? Question mark.
Yeah. Even the president was called the guy and said like, "Oh, you can't do that. Please get back here, Emily, come back."
Yeah, what happened? I don't know. That's crazy. Otherwise, this will be the portion I'll be like, anybody else got comments on Emily in Paris? Because we could go on forever. This is great.
I wanted to talk exactly, the networking and the friendship inside the industry, because I think this is not a subject and this is not a topic that we are developing that much. But at the same time, this is exactly what we are really exciting to do in every show, to meet all, to get back and see all each other. So yeah, I thought it was a good time just before Christmas, just before a lot of change in this time of hate to talk about love.
I mean, you're not wrong. I know sometimes I always get kind of questioned on the cost, right? Everybody's like return on investment. And, I have to try to explain to some people that maybe haven't been living in, again, our interesting lens, because there's a lot of, growth and there's a lot of good business strategy out there, but a lot of, at least in my opinion, tell me if I'm wrong, people, there's a lot of relationship management involved in kind of the business portion of the job, right? Like you mentioned, hey, you haven't been doing sales in quite some times, but really it's also like you managed all those things as, a buyer and now as a sales manager, but all so that you could sell, right? So no, exactly. But it's no secret, like open any sales book, which by the way, I have one for reference here. So we've got topics here, but people buy from who they like. People do business from who they like. But it's so hard to walk into. It's so hard to walk into. I don't know, the boardroom, because I know I have talked to a lot of other business owners in the space that trying to get investment, or their brands have recently been purchased by outside investors, and so we've seen a lot of shift in kind of how people manage the relationships, at least, from my perspective from 10 years ago, but also you end up talking to anybody or grabbing any book when we go to some of these trade shows. And the number one thing is, it's like, oh, I'm networking, I'm managing my relationship, or if you're a salesperson, I'm hunting. So it's such a big part of what we do, at least from the trade show perspective, that eventually, I'm assuming turns into sales or marketing or some sort of leadership culture change. But why is it so important, but we always have to defend it? I don't understand.
Yeah, true. But it is a thing, like you wanted to describe and to have a definition of what we're doing, like sexual wellness, adult industry, sex toys, resale, etc. But the first thing is, like, we are selling fun and we are selling pleasure. And it is exactly the thing I tell to all my guys, like, hey, have fun. If you're doing something, please have fun.
We're also
this guy were telling me, like, it was in 2020, I think in January, And this guy who was get planned, on the moon about sex toy, about, dildos. And this guy gets planned. Like, hey, we will rule the world.
Which,
We will
I'm
do
the first person to
that.
drool over a plan, but also.
And I just stop him like, hey, man, we're selling plastic dicks. Please. Just have fun. Of course,
preaching to the choir. I have to report to some of the, Fortune 250, 300 companies like Reckitt produces KY and Durex. So I constantly kind of, again, this is a big, I'm not bitter about it at all, but I understand. It's like, then you see this big, and it's easy to get pinholed in too much of a pharmaceutical role because yes, it's a little bit different. Lubes and condoms are medical devices, but again, what is the end purpose? Why are people doing what they're doing? Who's our target audience? Sexually active people. So it's complicated, but it's not complicated. But why is it complicated, Vincent?
Actually, not. Yeah, it's not that complicated, but yeah,
it's not. So you see, the book even says so, and I'm just having a hard time. Right.
We're
One of the things.
So
this is Jeffrey Gitmore, and I have to just remember, because this is like kind of what we're doing here when people were questioning me, like, well, why are you spending so much time and effort doing this thing when you're like, it's not like a paid thing. I'm like, well, you know what? It keeps me going and inspired because I enjoy this sort of back and forth with somebody. I think it's I love anything that'll teach me a new perspective, right? And it's a chance to get to bother Vincent. You just make it happen. But also, look, one of his principles, it's not about who I know, it's about who knows me, right? Mm-hmm. And that's like a secret, sneaky, maybe it's not. Again, it's so obvious, it's like a secret that sales and or marketing or just successful businesses in general are run on relationships, networking. But again, it's definitely not easy to talk about or be like, yeah, I because if I'm like, oh, I'm going to France or I need help with someone in France, you're automatically the first person on the top of my head, whether or not I could have quantified that or forecasted it, right? Like, or whether or not you could help me. It's being that first person you think about. And how do you do that without networking? Rhetorical question. Maybe the audience knows, but I'm being thoughtful today.
I actually don't have any advice. I don't know how to do, and I don't have any.
Oh no, I don't either. That's why it's like a rhetorical question. It's a thinker there.
And I'm pretty sure, like I love this sentence from Ricky Gervais. So, like, the best advice someone gave me is like, nobody knows what they are doing here. You just need to do it, and if you have time, and if you want to meet people, and if you stay humble, also, this is the more important. It was like the family when I talk about the family in the industry, this is exactly the thing. Like, we are sharing good moments. We have actually all the same social life, that doing this kind of job, when you met other people, it's always the same thing, that we are doing a mocking job. People are like, hey, you're selling dildos, etc., because they're not concerned about that. But every time we met each other, it's like, wow, we're living in the same world, we're living in the same family, because we are not that much doing this job. We are not that much, managing this stuff. And yeah, so every time we see each other, it's like, oh, we all know, we all have the same social life, apart from the professional life. And I think it is exactly the things who join us. This is exactly the thing who link us. It's about that. I've got this. The first time I've been in an international show, I was following, with XBs and AVN.com, etc., everybody. And the first time,
I love that. So many people were like little puppy dogs or behind the scenes. Like, I know I was. People are like, wow, you've already done 10 years in the industry. And I was like, yeah, but I was around before you knew I was around, right? Like, it's almost better to come from a different, like, I did customer service and order entry.
the first time I've been in LA, and I met someone really important in the industry. Used to work for Adam and Eve, and I was so shy. I was so shy. So I think I gave him like 12 business cards because every time I was crossing him, I was like, "Oh, it's my business card. Take my business card. Do you have my business card?" And he just replied to me like a chat, and he just replied to me, I think I've got a couple of them, And right after I've been to the AVN, and this guy was like, "Hey, have a drink with me." And I saw that it was not that, that the biggest, mind image I had in my mind. And those guys were like, really, "Please come," and make you comfortable. Even if I thought he was a big star, no, nobody is one of the big star. We're just here to have fun.
I like that. No, I definitely had. You're talking to my heart right now. I had just, it comes and goes in waves. Who knows if it's my burnout, my depression, my imposter syndrome, but definitely part of like what I'm doing here, or the amount of time and effort I will put into still a sales pitch or writing a creative brief. It at the end of the day, I do it because I care about my work integrity, but it does get really hard to not listen to that voice in your head. It's always 100% worse in my head, in my anxiety, and I don't even know I'm spending time or that it's there, than me just picking up the phone and doing it, or hitting the send button, hitting the record button, and just doing the thing. Because you're right, nobody knows what they're doing here, but a lot of people are not willing to be, I guess, authentic about it, or have this kind of, I don't know if it's a chip on their shoulder, or like, again, their own bias and in whatever upbringing that like I suffered, you need to too. But also, could you imagine, like flipping the script, as you were kind of talking about, where it's like, yeah, but also we're all still fighting the same fight, right? Like, sometimes people will get really caught up in the numbers, or really caught up in the being competitors, instead of leaning into the innovation and the fact that, putting the best, like your work integrity and just, if you have great product, great stuff will happen kind of ideas. But I'm not saying anybody's wrong. I think it's an interesting strategy that we've seen a lot of different businesses do, between the like being super, I guess, super corporate, super really buttoned up, or then maybe too far the other way, where it's like, whatever, I'm just selling plastic dicks. It's like, it's still important, because these are people's time and energy, and a lot of us really do care. But then also, how are you supposed to meet the people that are intimidated or a little bit shy? Bye, babe. Halfway, where like you can lean on the fact that, no, I am an expert, but also I'm a person too. I don't know. Maybe it's just, I think Blanca posted this week, and I thought it was hilarious. It's like, well, there's a certain amount of trauma to get this funny. And maybe that's why we do what we do, as far as what are we calling it? Like the Dumbledore's army of pleasure, so to speak. Is it's like, maybe we're all just these personalities of like, we can't not do what we do, right? Somebody has to.
Even in the competition, we are not like wanted to break the legs of the competitor, because we know each other. One more time, we are not so many to do this. And even when we are competitor, you can see them during the show. So maybe there's a little bit of hypocrite, of course, definitely. But I think, the deepest feeling of all of them, when they say hi, when they hug each other, is like, "Oh, that's cool." And they will try to get some info, but not info like, what you're doing, I need to copy that, etc.
Oh yeah, no one needs to know
Even,
like
even in the
prompt and
competition, I used to work in the hotel industry. Competitions, those guys can just really break your knees, because you're taking them customer, and competition in this industry, it's really like, yeah, oh, let me know what you are doing. And it's not even that. It's like, it's a natural talk, like, "Oh, nice, your latest product is really cool. Love your packaging. What is the next step?" Oh, etc. So there's it's not, nobody wants to kill each other, because I think we all know that there is place for each other. I'm talking from the manufacturer side. It's like, and today, moreover, there's maybe one or two company who really wants to get the monopole, but we still here, and even if it does exist, it will never happen, because the customer will need to have several brand. We are not a brand industry. When
But yeah,
someone
you have to give your customers a choice. There can't just be one thing out there. And no, I'm with you. I love, was
when
it
someone
friendly
going
competition?
or when someone going on a website, they're not looking for a brand. They're looking for what they want, the pleasure, what they want to bring in their sexual life. It's not about the brand.
They're curious about something. They're there for a reason. Yeah.
Yeah, the only thing that we have to do as a manufacturer, and that's why I think that the competition is not savage, or it's not like it's just like we need to answer, and to give an answer to the demand of the customer. So if my competitor is doing something nice that we never thought about, it's like, wow, well done, I want one. So yeah, maybe I mean, yeah, in a key world, like, everybody love each other, but nobody will take me this opinion out of me, and I want to continue in this industry for that, considering that everybody is really careful about everyone, wants to be careful about the other one.
I agree. Well, and it's I guess it's I hate to tell anybody out there, especially from like a marketing perspective. Um, any campaign you're coming up with has already been done. Like, right, the written language is old enough now that everybody's like, pitching or selling or creating based off of something else. So it's okay to be like, hi, I've been inspired by so and so's campaign. Call that business owner even and be like, hey, I saw this, I'm inspired, right? I can't tell you how many times it's happened to me where I got in my own head until I was out of my head, being just like, oh, maybe somebody would actually, like, even though I'm a competitor, why wouldn't I tell somebody that I got good feedback, on either my brand or this other brand? Like, it just then continues to not only make good products, so we have happier consumers, it increases the entire category in general, and we end up with better just business humans at the end of it.
Exactly, making business. When I
Maybe
was
it's
a
just the
buyer,
ex-athlete in me. I'm like, ooh, friendly competition. It can light a fire sometimes, right?
we had these words saying, like, you're not making business with the product. Actually, you're making business with the people, and it is so true. And this is more and more true today. Like, it's better to believe in the brand of one of your friends, or someone who can bring you the best condition, as a buyer, and because it's quality product, of course, but you're not making business with robot on the B2B side. I'm speaking on the distributor and B2B side, and yeah, you want to have fun, and you want to have a dinner, you want to have some glass at the bar with your
Right. Again, you
friends.
still have to be an approachable human because it's still an intimate subject, right? Like, I don't know. I tell everybody the average time to just get out of your head about it is about 2 years. I came from cosmetics and lingerie before I started in liquids and lubricant, and and heavy apparel in my life. So it definitely took me a minute to go to a product dev meeting and hear the word nipple titillator 12 times without some sort of reaction, right? Again, things like I didn't even know I had a bias about it, and now it's I have to remember that even happened as a 20-something person, and now I work in the industry. So trying just to, he's French, guys, we smoke, it's perfect, I love it. This is why I'm like, it's just my show, nobody's paying me extra to do this, we can do what I want, whatever you want, my friend.
We're just together, come on.
I know, that's what I'm trying to say, and I just try to make it slightly professional so that I can so I don't get shadow banned, right? You put some little like medical stuff in there, done.
It's a nice topic that you just bring up. Like this industry, really, I used to create it gangbangster, a big dildos, black dildos, and this industry also teach me, and I think it's one of the only industry who can teach you the tolerance, you know, to tolerate anything. And it is a thing with normal people, etc. They're like, oh, how can you do that? How can you do that, etc. And you are like, hey, it is the way. If people want to do that, they, they do. The only limit in their industry is a consentment. That's
Right?
it.
If there's a market for it, that's all you need, right? Isn't that business 101? Obviously,
Exactly.
if there's a need, there's a market. Done. Like you don't even have to be judgy about it. Period. And that's what I try to tell people, at least from my side, when people think I'm interesting, and I'm like, yeah, maybe I'm interesting, but not because of why you think, as soon as they figure out what I do, right? And I'm like, well, it is interesting to me, but it's interesting because I'm interested in challenging and different business perspectives. And I love that this industry, I think you put it somewhere, you're like, not only do they teach tolerance, but this entire industry, they might not forget, but they're very, very forgiving. I cannot tell you how many people have taken me under their wing, have mentored me. I mean, there's no rule book out there, period. But the fact that, the industry's picked up so many people like myself and just has been like, okay, well, you know what? I know it's not maybe the same sort of business you might have been thinking from your past whatever business college classes, right? But here's how we take those same things and make it this way. So it's like, again, I tell my people, I'm like, yeah, I am interesting, but also I'm going to the show, and really it's like, no, I've got 12 meetings and we're talking about marketing campaigns and margin and just everything like anybody else would. And then they're kind of like disappointed.
Yeah. We need also, of course, like we have been spoiled child with the COVID period, and we
Yeah.
sold a lot, and then the reality get back, 2003, 2000, 2023, 2024, and now everybody's like, yeah, but it's okay. It's actually it's complicated, I know, because we have been spoiled after those big sales. But today we are just joining a lot of effort. I'm thinking about Enemy this year in LA, who has been really, really fantastic because it was like really, really friendship, atmosphere. And people, we continue to make business in something fun, in something really fun. I met you. Maybe also the market is now getting bigger. I really met you during the champs in Las Vegas this year.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I think this is fantastic to have the democratic sex toy in all these target now.
Oh, and I love that I forget that it's not even been a year, but because we get to keep in touch based off of what we do, and it's easy because we have, familiar friendships. It's like, oh, hey, it's not even been a year, but oh yeah, we'll call Vincent or we'll figure that out. And I don't know. Thank you for saying, like, it just saves people time and research and getting in their head. Just reach out. Networking's important.
But yeah, exactly. But now, yeah, we've got in US. I mean, in US, but it's coming in Europe too. But the smoke shop are more and more interested in
Yeah.
that because it's not anymore taboo. I'm doing a lot with the barber shop in Europe,
Oh,
because
interesting.
because people who cutting the hair, they're women. The talkings are half
Yeah.
an hour, 1 hour to talk about, and they've got a small room back
I like it.
yeah.
Instead of like going to my Etsy shop later, you
Oh,
can just grab it from my cute little boutique here. That's
or
great.
lingerie store too.
Yeah.
So our industry, adult industry, wanted to make lingerie, but now lingerie industry is making more and more sex toy. So
right?
it is a big
Even if it's not your bread and butter, expanding kind of your brand presence, like, hey, I'm a toy company, but also maybe I have some cleaners and some lingerie and, you know, maybe some condoms. It helps bring that authenticity and take up more shelf space, right? So that you have more, you know, authority in your brand, guys. It's I think it's a great idea, not just cross promotion wise, but you can cast a wider net to a bigger, you know, reach of customers. Not saying ignore the people that you know, are marketing to, but, you know, make some money. If your brand's good, people need to have it.
and it's not dirty anymore. You know, we used to have this image, but it's not dirty anymore. You know, of course, we still have people.
Well, I was gonna say anymore. I was like, should we go into that with the stigma here, right? I know we've all had. I even still have challenges. Like the first thing, who knew that I'd almost deal with more stigma selling condoms than lubricant, right? With lubricant, it was, oh, I don't need that. It's okay. I'm plenty. And I'm like, great, not what I asked. But I'm here to tell you, like, tell me why you don't like using it. And also it's an enhancement, right? That was like me trying to lean into basically ain't got nobody, like nobody have time not to clean your toys, enjoy your liquids, right? Like why? Who would have thought, like, add an additional hurdle in you know, my sales campaigns of not just do I have a bias because we're talking about sex, but now a woman is talking about penises, and the first thing anybody ever does is like, oh, condom, haha, what's that? But then do you have anything free? I'm like, you know what? It's like my sale's done, which again, hey, challenge and accepted, but it's like my sale is done before people can even, you know, listen to what I'm saying, because we have all these biases to unpack. Let alone, I don't even sell, I can at least get away with, you know, depending on how people-y I want to be in the Uber or the airplane. What do you do? Oh, you know, public health, you know, medical device, whatever. I'm sales and marketing, but then like add the more intense stigma, I'm just going to say it, of, oh my goodness, you make plastic dongs, like why, kind of thing.
Yeah, it's not even now about plastic, but because, you know,
Yeah.
we got all the safe silicones, etc. And this is still, you know, condoms still the best way to take care about the dildos anyway. So
Right, take care of the dildos, and then just yourself. Like, I don't know, again, quick soapbox. I love all the attention finally not just going into birth control as your only like pregnancy preventage, all the things, contraceptive, there we go. But I feel for like a long time it's been just the expectation. And so then I get all like, well, it's the pharmaceutical companies would rather have everybody, you know, on birth control because it costs a lot more money, versus like there's a $3.99 solution to all of this, and the only solution to not just you know, pregnancy, unwanted pregnancies, but STIs, right? And a lot of that stuff, because it's not in our everyday vocabulary and nobody thinks it's sexy, and a lot of people have this bias already. It's like we have children being born right now with syphilis because people don't know that syphilis is back. So it's like, I'm not here to shame, and I love that plan B and PrEP is a thing, but also I'm like, guys, save money. Guys, women, I mean, guys in the general, like the they thems across the world, is like you also could save a lot more money making this responsible choice, but it seems unattainable. Like people just don't know that there's another option. I'm like, I guarantee there is a condom. Use the Flex condom. Buy one, you will not feel that thing. You need a different size. Guess what? There's 52 different molds out there now. You can find a size, but nobody knows. And if nobody else is doing it, like we are tribe.
Because you're talking about it, you know that we have a fantastic tools for that.
Oh, that's the one I love. Oh my goodness. I'll tell you a story about that later.
And so it is a tool. Okay. This is not, you know, it's not a medical stuff, etc. But we've got 6 temperature sensors in it. And on the application, it can track your temperature. So it's kind of a tool to inform you about your ovulation period too.
Yeah, like so there's so many other options.
Only 2.
And just guess what? You said it earlier, like put a condom on that thing, because people forget that it's not just you know, sexual fluids that can lead to any sort of STIs or, you know, STDs, but lots of other skin to skin contact is what it is. Or, people, what was it? The Hawk 2 girl. She's really popular. Did she make it to Europe over there? The gal that was like, and I'm just going to spit on that thing. I'm like, great girl, you're not wrong. But also we have an entire industry of lubricants for that. Like, even if you don't like flavored lube, have you just used it for the scent? It smells so nice. And spit can still carry, if I'm remembering correctly, syphilis, right? And gonorrhea and HIV.
And HIV, of course, definitely. And yes, of course, you're right. Like, and making this kind of sales pitch today, it's really, really important. It's not, one more time, we will not save the world tomorrow morning with that. We just try to make it better and funniest.
Yeah, I have to remind people that, even though I'm like trying to pretend, like I put on my superhero hat, right? For my mental, just getting it, for my personalities, right? For my coping mechanisms. But like, I know I'm not going to change the world, by any means, but maybe I can inspire a couple of people, right? Because I didn't know all of these different options and facts and awkward product knowledge or business knowledge. So I can't imagine anybody else knowing it. It's been 10 freaking years on this side.
And all those people, yes, to maybe, this is the thing. Like, Only Playbox has been created by our CEOs, and at the beginning they were like just advertising and advising their friends in couple how to have a better private life, and then they say like, oh, maybe we need to do something like this. And this is the beginning of Honey Playbox, actually.
We love that.
So yeah, exactly. But this is just a couple who talk with other friends, and try to advise them how to get better in their private life. And yes, it is a verse of Honey Playbox. Can you imagine that? I love this story because this is
It's a great
exactly
story.
what we
Because
want.
can you imagine us not getting a chance to work together more closely, and like just that their art, right? Even though people wouldn't consider that art, right? Like that they had a unique perspective, right? A market that nobody else had, and then to be able to make money on that, I think is it's a great thing. If they were painters, no one would be giving them the shame. If they were, building software chips, no one would say that. But just because it's a different market, oh my goodness, tell them, or I'll send them this clip. I'm giving them a big round of applause, because I try to remember these things, and just I'm attempting. I'm not a writer by any means, because I just like to read, but things like this, I'm like, okay, well, maybe I'm just like falling into a deeper calling, and just like, maybe I do write a little bit, even though I wouldn't consider myself a writer. But art can look different, right? Like, if you're a painter, you don't just have to paint on canvas.
Yeah, I think a lot of company have similar story like this. I think it is a case for Shunga as an example.
Yeah.
To create to create something like
They have
really
great packaging in
healthy,
Shunga. Oh my goodness.
something like this. I think this is exactly the same thing. To create like vegan and really healthy lube. So all of that, I think. People are not just getting, and I think a lot of people wanted to get in the industry just for making money without any passion, without any regards on what people needs, and what people deserve to have. Like, the best idea I used to have for is like something I can't find on the market.
Yeah,
And
it still needs to be accessible, right? It needs to be easy to find, but also, don't make it too complicated.
no, not too complicated. Right? Yes, this is a word thing that you can do when you have to have a license to use a sex toy. Okay, it's not working, and we need to stay affordable. This is also the thing. Like, it is a fun industry.
Right. If your product is good, and you have the right people, then, I'm not saying everything's going to be easy, but that river of opportunity doesn't fill up any more than if you take from it, right? Like, you got to just put
Exactly.
yourself out there for other things to trickle down.
Love it. Exactly. It is a thing. Are you going tonight to the party?
Am I tonight? Where? Which party?
No, the nomination party.
Oh yeah, in January, I think so. I still got to work on my planning. Also, there's a book signing for an author on the 21st. I don't have the company doesn't have a big budget travel right now, so I'm gonna get there. I'm just figuring out how and when and all.
See you
the
in
stuff.
January. Anyway, see you in January, right?
Yeah, that's why I'm saying I'm gonna get out there and we're gonna figure it out. But I just don't know all my itinerary yet. But oh my God, yes, let's like take pictures and coordinate and maybe do another live. I don't know, it's gonna be fun. I know Blanca and Jade said they were gonna, because I last year they streamed it onto Facebook. And so I think this year they're gonna make it like a little thing, get like the magic wand microphones that the Shameless Sex have and do like a little runway thing. And then I'm like, oh my God, and then you should come on my show the next day and we'll do the like who wore it best thing. All right. Because I have
What about
just
them?
stupid. Huh?
What about champs in February?
We're probably doing champs. We just haven't paid for it yet, especially if our Paradise condom is going to be done, right? So we're going to have our own. I mean, we did for a while. We just had to get rid of our old branding, so we'll have new branded, new tech. We're just waiting for them at the dock. That's a whole other story. Because right, people are still looking for a decent but like, you know, affordable, you know, 10, 12 cent condom. So I'm like, we're gonna do it. So I'm really excited about that. And that'll be a really perfect for that sales channel. At least I'm hoping anyways. And then we can call Cam and we can put our booth side by side. So I can kick Jarrell's ass all week. Like, what are you doing? Gotta keep working. The director is coming.
Shut up. Director.
As a director. No, hey, you know what? I joke because you're more than a director, right? It's like you're the VP, you're the president, but I gotta give you the respect where you got it. We got the director. He's coming. He's coming. Look alive, guys. Look alive. No, I used to really care about titles like in my 20s, just because I was like looking for validation that like, hey, am I doing a good job? But that was also, you know, didn't work for a company that reviewed as often. And now I'm like, I don't even want a title. I just like joke around. I put like nicknames on my titles now because it just this industry is growing so quickly and changing like comparatively, right? Like condoms have been around for 100 years. So that business model looks a lot different than some of the business models here. Like, right, we're like 30, 50-year-old businesses for the most part. That I'm just like, it's fun. Get on board. Let's do it.
It's fun. That's it. You know, I don't want any title too, etc. I just, you know, I'm thankful for people who wanted to put me on this job and to trust me to organize all the stuff. That's it. I don't want any title, but people are trusting me for that. And that's fun. And as long as I have fun, I'm
right, because
good.
you give a shit. So have some fun, right, when you can. But you know, with the work hard, play hard.
If I don't have any fun anymore, okay, bye. What the hell? I'm 42. This is my fifth career. I can do really a lot of stuff too.
And guess what? We don't know. We don't know what the next chapter looks like. At least as I'm working on, you know, controlling what I can't control less, and just working on. I can only react the way that I can react. That's the only thing I can control.
Exactly. Thank you, Tori, for having me.
Thank you. Okay, I'll give you the last question. This is the like sign off. This is shamelessly plug, right? If people want to talk to you because you're amazing, or have questions about Honey Playbox, or if you want to leave like wise word of wisdom, a joke, I don't know. This is like the Vincent sign off. I'm gonna use it for your XBiz reel later.
I want to say, everyone, see you in January. Okay, I will join all my family in January for XBs, AVN, X3 champs. So yeah, long time to spend with the US family.
Any new stuff coming for us to be excited about?
Which one?
Any new things for us to be excited about?
Oh,
that you can tell us.
You need to stay connected because we've got a big a new toys coming, and really original, and like a new Kegel ball system with training stuff on the app, etc.
Ooh.
Yes, inflatable, and yeah, really, really, really amazing and original. So you need to stay connected. We continue to work with all the pressure system, and new Kegel technology. And yes, and it's coming, and it is huge. It is huge. Very good.
It's
So,
huge.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So we will present
Well,
that during the XB's ADN also, and yeah.
okay.
Stay,
How do
stay
people stay connected? Just honeyplaybox.com, or, do you have info at honeyplaybox if people want to just make sure they're on your
or any
perfect.
info on playbox.com. Tori, you know all the things.
I'm just making sure, and I'll try to put them in the comments or do my little
You know
pop-ups
all the
for people
things. But,
later.
yes. Please stay connected,
Um,
and do not, feel free to contact us anytime. Jorel, I, Kevin, like all the team. The team is growing too. Is really growing too. So yeah, we're ready for 2025. What else?
Woo! So that's a wrap. See what I did there? Ha! And so I'm just hoping, right? Yay, I made at least Vincent laugh. So hoping today's episode made, somebody maybe a little bit inspired, got some new ideas, give you an aha moment, so to speak. And just, hey, we don't know what we don't know. So keep coming back. If you've got questions, reach out, and I'll post all the things if you need to reach us. It's going to be amazing. Thank you, everybody.